Today, in a brand new episode of PPP, watching every Pedro Pascal project on Letterboxd, we are gonna move. We are gonna travel to above. Yes, we're going to space for this episode. We have three brand new movies, or well, brand new for watching, that happen to be in space. Maybe not everything can be watched right now by me, so I might just fail. But anyway, spoilers ahead for these three movies, I guess. If you're new here, maybe you should just check out all the other episodes I've done about watching every Pedro Pascal project on Letterboxd, because that's what we're doing. Now let's go to the first movie, Fantastic Four First Steps. This movie was released in 2025 and it is part of the MCU, or the Marvel Cinematic Universe. It is directed by Matt Shakman. It of course stars Pedro Pascal, but also Vanessa Kirby, Joseph Quinn, and Eben Moss Bachrach. Now this is the third or the fourth if you count the Fantastic Four from 1994, but the first time that the Fantastic Four is part of the MCU. The movie is set in the 70s, but the retro futuristic version of it. And it's part of the multiverse, so Iron Man never existed for them, or any of the superheroes. Well, I say Iron Man, of course, but Doctor Doom is in this world somehow, and he is played by Robert Downey Jr., who also plays Iron Man, so who knows who actually still is part of this world, but we're gonna find out later this year. In the movie, their Earth is selected by the Silver Surfer, Shala Bal, for Galactus, so he can eat us. He's just so hungry he wants to eat the entire planet. And the team has to find a way to stop him from being able to do so. But eating the Earth is not the only thing that Galactus wants. No, he wants little baby Franklin, the newborn son of Reed Richards and Sue Storm, because apparently he has some magic cosmic powers. Now, finally, this is another movie where Pedro is actually one of the main characters and not just a side character that only appears after 1 hour and 20 minutes when you're into the movie, or just for 5 minutes and then no screen time anymore. So we get him the entire time, and that's actually very refreshing, and I needed this. Pedro, of course, plays Reed Richards, the leader of the Fantastic Four and husband of Sue Storm, the other two members being Johnny Storm and Ben Grimm. They all have powers, as you know. Ben turns into rocks and becomes the Thing. Johnny is the Human Torch, Sue is Invisible Woman, and Reed can stretch. Although he doesn't do that a lot in the movie. I knew that was his power, but when watching it, I thought, oh yeah, his power is that he got super smart, so I was confusing at times because that's not his actual power that he got from the cosmic energy. I want to see him stretch, Marvel. Make him stretch. No, but in my opinion, Pedro plays Reed Richards very well. I know a lot of people were complaining about him having a mustache. Reed has had that as well, you know, the full beard. Even John Krasinski had a beard. I actually prefer the facial hair on Reed Richards. And I actually believe that this version of Reed is the smartest man in the world, and not like the Miles Teller version, you know, in the Fan 4 stick. He doesn't really have smartest man in the world look on his face, if you know what I mean. Other thing about the movie is the visuals. I love space. Well, I love the space visuals. You will never find me in space. But the movie really delivers the beautiful cinematography that you can get with those space visuals, especially with the black hole. Except for CGI Franklin, you know, that's not a very good shot that they use. You can tell that's not really a baby that's there. And the soundtrack, of course. I keep a Pedro Pascal inspired playlist, and the Fantastic Four theme is in there. It's a banger. Also, I have to play this afterwards, of course. And the humor is great. Emotional scenes are great as well. And I cannot wait until Avengers Doomsday comes out so we can get more Fantastic Four. Just know I will make videos about this as well. But like I said, I do wish he used his powers a bit more. Maybe we will see more of that in Doomsday. I really hope so. Just imagine him as that teapot, you know, in Lego Marvel Superheroes, the game. I want to see him become the teapot. Oh, and I almost forgot. The suits are so clean as well. I love the shades of blue that they use mixed with the white. Super nice. I actually want one. I want the suit. I also want the car. Give me everything they have. I want to be them. Now, going to the wall. If you don't know what this is, then, well, what are you doing only on episode 6? Go watch the others as well. But anyway, I draw an item or something that represents the movie or character played by Pedro, so we can remember how good he is. And if you want to find out why some of these are here, then go watch the past episodes. But for Reed Richards, The easy thing would be the Fantastic Four logo, right? But I think we can make it a little bit more interesting and drawing Herbie, the super cute robot from the movie. I do realize I'm gonna run out of space in the square, but that will be an easy fix in the future. Now, I have thought hard about where to put Reed Richards on the tier list, but I think it's time for a change. Yes, we officially have a new S tier character. And not only that, but he will go on the top, which also means that I give the movie 5 stars. And it goes to the top of the movies, of course. So we have a new king in the movies. Yes, I love the movie that much. Like I said, I can't wait until we see more of the team, and it's not just Reed that I like, but the entire team is just amazing. With the previous Fantastic Four movies, I was never really a fan of the Thing, but even this movie made me like him more. Like, they made him so likable. So good job on first steps. Now let's go to the second movie of today. Prospect. Prospect is a sci-fi or space western movie released in 2018, directed by Zeke Earl and Christopher Caldwell, and stars Sophie Thatcher and Pedro Pascal. And I have no idea how to explain it, so I'll read the Letterboxd description because the movie is kind of vague to me. A teenage girl and her father travel to a remote alien moon, aiming to strike it rich. They've secured a contract to harvest a large deposit of the elusive gems hidden in the depths of the moon's toxic forest. But there are others roving the wilderness, and the job quickly devolves into a fight to survive. I'll explain why it's hard to explain, if I'm even able to do that. They do a bunch of these things to these organisms or whatever these disgusting looking things are, and I'm just supposed to guess what they're doing. Some scenes are also very dark, which makes it hard to even see what they're doing. And when you see what they're doing, you still don't know what you're even seeing. And it just feels like you are thrown in a franchise that has multiple movies and you are watching the fourth movie or something, and you never watch any of the others. Pedro at least had a major role in the movie. He plays Ezra, a man that just wants to find his way off the planet and stumbles upon C and Damon. Pedro has this part of his hair that is colored white or gray, which unintentionally matches Reed Richards, but he does feel more like a Mandalorian than Mr. Fantastic in this. But also, he doesn't feel like the Mandalorian at all. It's weird. Ezra killed the father of C, called Damon, like I said, over some of that gunk stuff. But somehow C and Ezra start to work together to find a way off the planet that they are stranded on. They do this by stealing the ship of these other diggers, which they also kill. And there's a guy that's all pink. Yeah, I don't know either. Also, Pedro or Ezra loses an arm after he got shot by a toxic bullet by C herself. But C helps him get rid of it. They also meet these weird looking people. Like I said, it could have been a Mandalorian episode. Ezra does almost die at the end, and I actually believed he would, so I was ready to ring that bell for the death counter, but nope. C came back to save him, and they left the planet. End of story. Oh, I almost forgot to say, but C is played by Sophie Thatcher, like I did mention her earlier. But you might know her from these movies like Heretic or Companion, Maxine, even The Boogeyman. I really don't know what else to say about this movie. I like the visuals though, when I could see them at least. The shots were beautiful, so that's a plus. I would watch it again and maybe I would understand it better when I watched it again, but for now I have to leave it where it is, and I'll let you know in a second where that is. For the wall, I was gonna draw the helmet because I didn't want another gun on the wall, but maybe I'll just draw that gemstone thingy, even though we already have a similar looking stone from last episode. Go check that out so you can find out where that stone is from. The movie itself, I gave 3.5 stars. I liked it enough. Like I said, I would watch it again and maybe I would understand it better. The movie will, however, be ranked on the 9th spot out of 17 so far. So it lands in the middle. Not the worst, not the best, but it could be better. The character of Ezra will go to the B tier in the tier list, but somewhere in the middle. Now it's time to show you the last project of today. Encounters in the Milky Way. This is a hard one. Encounters in the Milky Way is a, and I quote, time-traveling journey about cosmic movements that shape our galactic neighborhood. And you can only watch this as an experience in a Space Expo museum in New York, and I live here in the Netherlands. So I would have to travel almost 6,000 kilometers or 3,500 miles for you Americans. And I did not do that. But I did watch this short clip that kind of teases what you can expect when you are there. It's almost 2 minutes, I think. 2 minutes out of the 24 that I should see. Now, I have a rule on Letterboxd that I only log movies in my diary when they are longer than 30 minutes, which this isn't, of course, so it would go under the radar anyway. But it still feels like cheating to say that I watched it. I mean, I can look at the sky at night for 24 minutes, but it wouldn't be the same. And trust me, I looked everywhere on the internet for a version that was recorded on someone's phone, but no, nothing. If you do have it, please tell me or help me watch this. It would mean the world to me. Or, well, the Milky Way. Or if you work at the Museum of Natural History, help me, please. Please. But I would like to provide you a couple of Milky Way facts, the way that Pedro probably would when you go to this experience. So here we go. Fact 1. There is a black hole in the center of the Milky Way. Actually, I would have rather not known that, but okay, it's kind of scary. Fact 2. The center of our galaxy is called Sagittarius A. Remember that. And fact 3. It's on the move, meaning that we are all traveling in space together. We are all space travelers, astronauts. Fact 4. They were designed to taste like malted milkshakes rather than being named after the galaxy. Oh no, wait, this is about the chocolate bar. Wait. So I will draw this on the wall. It's the least I can do. I'll draw the galaxy, I mean, what else is there for me to draw in an expo about the Milky Way? I won't rate it since I didn't watch it, of course, but if I ever do, y'all will be the first to know what I rated it. And please forgive me that I didn't see this. I just can't. I can't go there. Anyway, that's it for today. Let me know if you have seen any of these movies, especially if you've seen Encounters in the Milky Way. And also, let me know what you think I should watch next. And I'll see you all next time.